Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids across our beloved empire. Are you getting this Imperial transmission loud and clear? It should be loud because I'm also known as AKA the loud Star Wars guy. Welcome to Arnold Holonet News. The only news you'll ever need. Because you got no other choice around here. And dang, it's great to be in the Empire today where we got more Imperial love coming down the pipeline. And we got a little bit of a rebel Omicron, but don't let that take away from the attention the Empire is getting. We got a brand new TIE Interceptor prototype coming to Star Wars Galaxy. It's being piloted by the second sister. And this is a little interesting. It's going to be not a marquee, a Conquest unit. I'll say, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love that we're getting more Imperial ships. The game is in desperate need of new ships. I just wasn't sure if maybe this was a Conquest type of iconic thing. Like so far, all the stuff we've gotten through Conquest, Razor Crest, Maul, Ahsoka, Boba, they're at least very iconic. Razor Crest is one of the most iconic ships out there. Not to say this isn't it's not okay. It's a cool ship, don't get me wrong, but it's not that iconic in my opinion. But it's meant to help start filling out some fleets. Just gotta wait at least 3 months for it to finally happen when people get the ship unlocked. But it's meant to round out Imperial fleets. Powerful reinforcement ability. Second sister piloting it, and it looks like they're eyeing Throng, which I think that's a good area of opportunity. Right now, the game is too focused on Executor, Malevolence, Negotiator, and the Rebels. Imperials aren't really a focal point right now. Will this make things a bit more interesting? Well, stay tuned to find out. And with this, we also are getting a mild touch-up to Darth Vader's TIE Advance. And why don't we actually start off with that before we get into this? If you want to know the confirmation, how do we know this is a Conquest ship right here? Boom. Oh, what is it? TIE Interceptor is the Conquest chase unit, so players will have time with the second sister before the ship can be unlocked in response to. It's kind of weird because they're asking themselves their own questions, but why did you release the ship immediately after you released the pilot? They're basically saying, at minimum, it's going to take 3 months to unlock. I assume the next Conquest is starting up next week. We're going to get to the kit, so it'll make more sense in a minute, but as they say here, how is the TIE Advance 1's kit changed? That is Darth Vader's ship. The new final tier advanced targeting system now reads, at the start of the battle, if all allies are Empire, Inquisitors, or Sith, and the TIE Interceptor is in reinforcements. Interesting. Allied Empire captive cooldowns are reduced by 1. And now that is mucho interesante, if you ask me, because what does that mean? Well, can I bring it back over here? If you're reducing cooldowns really quickly, I know it's been a while, but you see this bro down here? Yeah, that bro, that guy right there. He's got a big ability, an insta kill that really is not that important anymore because it takes way too long to get there. This should help things out a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at the kit reveal here that we have. And we're going to talk about the other things that we have, such as Leia Omicron. And apparently maybe CG's getting fed up with Lord Vader being really garbage. Garbage galactic legend. Let me just specify that. He's not a garbage character in the grand scheme of the game, but he is not as galactic legendy as he probably should be here. Again, it just kind of throws me off. I was expecting something a little bit more, something a little bit bigger, but I'm sure the ship will be impactful. I just didn't think, I would never expect that to be a Conquest level ship. There we go. I was actually kind of expecting the Nihilist Ravager right now. Makes you wonder if maybe they're rearranging things to kind of distance itself from that leak, even though 90% of that leak came true. Maybe they got mad and they're like, you know, you guys aren't getting Ravager now. We're going to do it later. But anyways, I thought Ravager would have been the Conquest ship if I had to guess a ship here. Here we go. Empire Attacker Inquisitorius, with the crew member being the second sister. Still waiting to see what the rest of this Inquisitorius faction is looking like. Right now, she's just kind of mad not being used. She's waiting for her friends to show up in the game. Imperial fast attack craft that is nimble as it is deadly. Second sister's force powers allow her to perform maneuvers many would consider unnatural. All right, that's kind of cute. That was a little cute right there. Let's take a look at the Bazik S9.3 laser cannon. It's my favorite radio station, S9.3 on the mix. Deal physical damage to target enemy twice. That can't be evaded. That is very basic. As a basic comes along, no target lock, no burn-in, no damage over time. Not even a thank you letter when you're using it, but nonetheless, not being evaded is going to be helpful getting through foresight type of things. And we have to wait and see. We can't make any call outs, so this is going to counter Executor. What's the biggest problem with Executor? When you call in a freaking reinforcement, they all get evasion up, and the chance of you hitting them somehow went to 0 at that point. I'm not going to say this is going to guarantee it, but just something to put on the radar where it might be helpful. Dodges as well as evasion up. Stupid executors, man. We have auto thruster maneuvers, cooldown of 2, a very small cooldown that we got here. Deal physical damage to target enemy and gain a foresight for 2 turns. And if the TIE Interceptor prototype already has foresight, instead grant another ally foresight for 2 turns. That would be kind of nice because Vader is a very fragile ship, and I don't run Imperial fleets that much. Breaks my poor heart. But when I do, Vader usually dies in the first 2 seconds. So it's like, you know what? I'm putting this guy in the back. Maybe this will help him stick around a bit longer. But if she's got target lock on the enemy, dispel target lock and deal 50% more damage. I'm assuming since it's based on attacker, it says an attacker, Empire, Inquisitorius, as we saw the tags a moment ago, she can hit good as a standalone character so far. I'm thinking they're trying to translate some of that over to the ship as well, and the ship's hopefully going to hit as hard as maybe she can as well. Let's get over to the special ability where now we're starting to see a bit more verbiage associated with it. The Ruthless Pursuit, cooldown of 5. This is tied to the second sister crew member right here. Deal physical damage to all enemies. Gain Ruthless, a little bit new here, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented, and give target enemy and all Jedi enemies the pursue target. I'm assuming that might be helpful for negotiator battles. Yeah. We got Jedi Anakin and Ahsoka Tano's out there. Whenever the TIE Interceptor prototype uses an ability, if the target did not have pursued, Ruthless expires and the pursued target is removed from all remaining enemies. The TIE Interceptor prototype can ignore taunt effects when targeting enemies with the pursued target. So almost kind of like how the Razor Crest can avoid, but not to the same extent. It's nice getting around taunts because one of the biggest problems we have if you're going to try to use this advanced negotiator, you got at least 2 taunts. You got the Y-Wing, and then you got the Clone Sergeant. It's going to be nice navigating around. And what does Ruthless do? 50% critical chance, plus 20% critical damage, and plus 30% offense. Again, kind of drawing a little bit of the inspo from our girl's second sister. Sounds like this ship should hit pretty hard. If it's a Conquest unit and an attacker, I would be pretty disappointed if it did not hit hard. Pursued target, what does that do? When TIE Interceptor prototype targets this unit with an ability during its turn, it gains 40% turn meter. That's pretty gnarly. And then TIE Interceptor prototype must target a unit with this for a taunt effect and can ignore taunt effects to target this unit. That's a lot of turn meter right there, my friends. That's a lot of turn meter. I think this is a misprint. Holy cow, how is this still? They got rid of the term hardware literally 3 years ago. Oh, goodness, it was 2018, 4 years ago. Correct myself. This is supposed to be the reinforced ability. Hardware, that, gosh, how did... Okay, it's all right. I make mistakes too. Not for gas. I'm gonna stop myself. There's a lot of gold that I can dig on us. But anyways, how predictable. Actually, pretty ironic that we're saying that right now. If all allies are Empire, Inquisitorius, or Sith, dispel buffs on all enemies and apply target lock and buff immunity for 2 turns. Dispel debuffs from all Empire allies, Inquisitorius, and Sith allies. That's nice. Here's the problem that we have. We don't have a lot of cleansers. We have Gar Suxon. That's actually pretty cool that he sucks at his character, but he's pretty good as a ship. We need more cleansers. Imperials need a cleanser. Boom. Right there. Getting that debuff to cleanse going on is going to be fantastic. Makes you wonder if there's going to be other Inquisitorius ships. They're going to arrive at some point. And the unique ability, prototype design, whenever an Empire, Inquisitorius, or Sith ally reinforces. The TIE Interceptor prototype gains foresight. And then whenever TIE Interceptor prototype critically hits an enemy, if all allies are Empire, Inquisitorius, or Sith, the allied capital ship gains 5% turn meter. And I don't know about you, but this gives me a breath of relief. Because one of my concerns was, since we do have another Imperial ship, it's not real, it's a fake Imperial ship because it's a bounty hunter capital ship. I was a bit worried that this ship might make the Executor even deadlier. That's not what we need right now. We don't need the Executor to get any crazier than it is right now. So basically, if you do try to put this on the Executor lineup, the bounty hunters, they're not Imperials. They're not Sith. They're not Inquisitorius. So, boy, Executor with extra 5% turn meter game. Oh, gosh. Oh, that's pretty bad. But that's a lot of turn meter right there, as you're seeing, with the critical hits. It seems like we got a couple of AoE abilities. That's an AoE ability right there. And does this look like an AoE? That looks like an AoE. So we have 2 AoE abilities right here. Seems like ways to get lots of turn meter. That's 15% turn meter, probably. If there's 5 characters or 5 ships, that might be 25% turn meter. And, of course, as we just took a look over here, you're gonna be able to reduce cooldowns on the capital ships. So it's kind of like almost like what Phantom does when the Phantom reinforces, it reduces the reinforcement cooldown. So between this minor touch on Darth Vader's kit, as well as the TIE Interceptor feeding turn meter, I suspect Thrawn will be much more of a violent threat. People always ask, why isn't Thrawn? He's got an insta-kill. Shouldn't that be cool? Whoa. The problem is, by the time I get to that insta-kill, I've already lost, or the match is already won at that point. He's too late game in the fleet meta in terms of time. So you want something that's going to pop something big within the first minute or two. This sounds like you should get an insta-kill out within the first minute or two of things playing out. It does sound like you're going to want to have Vader out, so you're going to be able to reduce the cooldowns a lot faster, and you're going to want to get her out too, so she can get as much turn meter fed to the team as possible. So we'll have to wait and see. Again, I wish I was more excited. Like, man, I was to the moon when Maul came, to the moon when Commander Tano came, to the moon when Razor Crest came. By the time Boba Fett came, I was kind of getting burnt out with Conquest. This is going to be an interesting, it's going to be an interesting unit as a Conquest unit. You guys let me know. Is this something you think lives up to maybe what Conquest should be? I think this should have been, I mean, it looks great for the Imperial fleet, but I do feel like, they maybe changed out Nihilus's Ravager last second. They're like, screw these guys. We're gonna make them chase a marquee character for 3 months minimum, and some of these guys, some of the peasants will have to farm this guy for 2 years because they're still trying to figure out a way to farm out the Razor Crest. So that's pretty much the main thing right there. Not as hyped, but you know what? I would love to see the Thrawn fleet be a bit more competitive against maybe the Negotiator. That would be kind of nice. Not that you can't do it. It would be nice to see it nonetheless. Let's keep moving over here. We got Lord Vader balance changes. Supreme Kylo Ren got a big buff against him. Lord Vader got nerfed, getting his butt kicked even more. They're looking into it. They might be applying some changes here. Nothing yet, but they might be getting sick and tired of Lord Vader really getting his butt kicked. I think it's a pride thing. They didn't want to give in to the community, even though we've said he's been not the most amazing galactic legend. We'll have to wait and see what they got planned out. Lastly, Omicron touch-up for Grand Arena on. Great. This was overdue. Princess Leia. And this is going to be quite interesting because it's a unique ability, Omicron, which most of the Omicrons we've gotten so far are leader-based Omicrons. Of course, Boba Fett, Starkiller, they got unique abilities or special abilities that they could Omicron up. But the second thing that's very interesting is we already have Akbar Omicron lead. She could be used with Akbar. And what's also more interesting as well, is that this is our first team that you can have 2 Omicrons being active at once from 2 different characters on the same team, which is getting a little interesting here. Let's take a look at it. Unique ability against all odds. While in Grand Arenas, whenever Leia attacks, she has a 55% chance to grant all Rebel allies Retribution for 2 turns, and a 55% chance to grant all Rebel allies Tenacity up for 2 turns. And all the Rebel allies recover 5% health and protection. People were a bit upset that Akbar's Omicron did not grant protection regeneration. Well, there it is. There it is right there. This will be interesting. It looks like we're starting to get to multi-Omicron type of teams out there. I mean, heck, you don't need the user of Akbar. I can see this being helpful. Maybe with Commander Luke Skywalker. The question is she better than 3PO and Chewie? Is she better than C-3PO? Is she better than Han Solo? Probably not. But nonetheless, I see this at least making the Akbar team a lot more deadly. Makes that Omicron look a little bit more enticing. Now that you can get Retribution going on for your team, getting the tenacity up, as well as constantly getting 5% health and protection. Here's the thing about Leia. She multi-attacks. And she's going to get tons of attacks on her basic hair trigger. Oh, gosh, I didn't even think about this. Leia, I don't think she's going to work as well in the Rebel Fighter lineup since she doesn't have the Rebel Fighter tag. But dang, if she had a Rebel Fighter tag, this would be pretty nasty, I gotta say, guys. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for Idle Holonet News. I will say this, I think we are due for a State of the Galaxy address. It seemed like Crumb is working on State of the Galaxy, so stick around, get some Java Juice while you're waiting here. Let me know your thoughts on the TIE Advanced Touch-Up, the new Conquest unit that I think will be starting up next week on Monday, and this Leia Omicron is getting a bit more interesting, everyone. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe so you're not missing a thing, and always remember, it's great to be in the Empire today. I'll see you guys later.